Okay, folks, we're ready to do a glue up of the bottom of the box. Now, if you remember, I think just the last time we filled in those gaps down there, and they did have some white sawdust, but I was able to blow that white sawdust out. And so what's the filler that's left is the dark walnut filler that we made for that. It's not sitting exactly on the surface, but it's okay where it is. I'm going to leave it like it is. It's no deeper than the regular open grain we have in oak like that. Now, so this is the bottom of the box. It just barely fits on this. We know this is the bottom because of the three closest things here. The top's going to get cut off here, so this is the bottom that goes on here. So I've got it put here like this, and I'm using these two clamps to glue the top on. When this gets on here, I'm going to put this piece of wood on here, and then pull these clamps up and clamp the whole thing down to hold it down until the glue sets. Now I want to try to avoid any run out of glue along this edge right here. So I'm going to be gluing only this edge. I'm not going to try to glue this piece right here, the bottom piece. And so as I glue that edge, I want to try to avoid the innermost 1/16 of an inch. And so I built this little piece of wood right here. It's just plywood with another piece of wood glued on top of it. And I've got a 1/16 of an inch reveal right there. I think you can see on that GoPro. And what that reveal does is it helps me to put this on top of that glue right there and take it off that edge all the way. Do the same thing on this edge. I'll be wiping it clean with some towels. Speaking of which, I better get one or I will have to get up later. And so now my towel is ready for me right there. And that should clear off that 1/16 of an inch, leaving about a little over 1/8 of an inch of glue ready to be used to glue down here. That'll prevent any glue squeeze out on the bottom of the box. That's what I want to avoid, is having to dig out that glue, because when I put a linseed oil finish on this thing, it won't stick to that glue, and that glue will make it look ugly. So I'm going to glue it up with just that 1/16 of an inch. Now it'll probably fill the glue all the way up along the edge. It just won't squeeze out because it'll be not there on that part. So the other thing I did was this little piece of wood, this is the bottom. Well, actually this is the bottom. We decided we wanted to put that decorative element at the bottom, and I put some double-sided tape. So this is just a 1/2 inch double-sided tape. It's easy to pull off. And so I just put 4 pieces on here because I'm going to glue this down to this bench right here, and I've got some marks on here where I want to put it because I need to put it at an angle so that when I bring these clamps up, they will be able to fit onto that box just right without it moving. And I don't want it moving when I get ready to, I've got the glue in here and I get ready to set it down. I want to set it down very carefully. And I may be using my fingers to kind of gauge where I'm at. And I don't want this thing moving around when I get ready to set it down. So that's what that's for. And I needed this around all 4 edges because that's where the pressure of the clamping is going to go, is around there. And I didn't want this bending away or whatever. So now it's time to take off the double-sided tape, or the one side that hasn't been taken off yet. And I'll go all the way around, and then I'll stick it to the bench. It'll be easy to come off the bench, but it won't be easy to slide it or move it in the meantime. It works perfectly. Use this stuff all the time for quick and easy jigs or quick and easy ways to hold down things while you're trying to work on them. And I got a whole roll of it there that I can use. All right, so now all 4 of those pieces are off. I can flip this over. This is the side that's going to receive the box and the glue. And here's the corner here, and there's the other corner right here. So I'm going to go from this corner to this corner, if I've measured correctly. Okay, now that piece is down there, it's not moving. I can bump it, I can do whatever. It's going to stay there. Now this piece is ready to sit on top, and so my practice will be, I'm holding by the four corners and I want to drop it down so there's a reveal all the way around this thing, so I don't have to slide it much when I get ready to glue it. See, I want to be sure that all edges have extra wood to show off. Matter of fact, I wish I hadn't cut that wood so close. It would have been easier, but I've got to be careful setting this down. So now this is the bottom sitting straight up, and what did I have that there for? Oh, never mind. By the way, this is the 1/16 of an inch gauge that I use to measure that reveal on this little tool that I made for that purpose. So I've got this ready. I've got my glue over here. I think I'm ready to put the glue on. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spread the glue, maybe with my fingers. I'm going to start on the long side here. And you put plenty of, I have to wipe that off really good because my finger kind of messed it up. All right, that wasn't bad. Now glue right here. And remember, I'm putting enough glue for both sides. Normally I glue both sides, but in this case I don't have time to glue both sides, so I'm just putting a fairly heavy layer of glue on this side so that it will thoroughly wet the grain on the other side. All right, now I'm going to take my finger and make sure it's all evenly spread out. I can't depend on the clamp to do that. It'll just cause more squeeze out. There's actually nothing better than a finger to spread glue with, because you can feel exactly what you're doing. And let me make sure there's no glue on the inside already. If there is, I'll need to wipe it off really good. And there's not right now. So I'll take this little tool and I'm going to come into it at a kind of an angle here. And I'm pushing that glue off of that edge right there by 1/16 of an inch. That looks perfect. Going the other direction now. The corners may be a slight little problem. Gotta keep this thing clean and go the other direction with it. Now we got one last side to do here. I don't see any glue except for close to the corners, and maybe I can get those out with a little tiny chisel or something like that. I'm ready to put this down now. So I'm holding it and I'm putting my fingers on the piece of wood that's on the thing, and I'm gonna let one edge down where I know it's okay, and then I'll let the other edge down where I know it's okay. And that worked out better than I would have hoped. And I do see some squeeze out on one side. I see some squeeze out, but not just on this side over here. And I'm not sure how I did that, but maybe I didn't get it cleaned up as well. Maybe that was the first side or the last side, and I was anxious either one way or the other. You know what? I didn't plan this very well. So in the meantime, when in a pinch, grab something heavy, like a 8-pound sledgehammer, and put on there and let it do its thing. I thought I had that planned out where this would fit, but I didn't. I think I had this board cockeyed, and that's why it fits so well. And I can still do that. And get all those pieces. I think I'll give that a try now. Yeah, I see glue squeezes out coming out all the way around on the outside. I just hope there's not too much more on the inside. You know what? That it's a little. I need a little bit of more reveal on that side over there. It's just too doggone close for comfort. All right, there we go. Oh, I didn't get that corner done. So for good measure, I'm just going to put this weight on there as well. I only need to let it set for maybe, I keep saying 6 minutes, maybe it's 10 minutes. But that ought to do the trick for getting it glued to the bottom. And then the next step will be to go over to the router table and to put in that flush trimming bit and trim that flush around the sides. Well, before that, to get that glue out of there as best I can. But that flush trim bit will go all the way around. And I'm probably going to try to get the glue out of there off camera, because I'm going to turn the cameras off here in just a minute to start letting this thing to dry. And then I may wait for an hour before I do the router trimming. And the reason why I do that faster than longer than the 6 minutes is because I want it to be the glue to be hard when that router bit goes around there. If it's gooey still, it kind of gums the router bit up, and wouldn't be a good thing to do. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. See you in a little while. It looks like this box turned out just fine. I'm looking at that corner where the glue had squeezed out on the inside, and it looks good there. It's a little bit, I think I can get that up with a chisel, and all the rest of the sides look like no glue whatsoever. And then there's the glue on the outside that squeezed out all the way around. And I can't even move this because of that tape. But that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to put it on pause. So a sharp whack with the chisel, and it just popped right up, even pulled some of the facing from the MDF tabletop away. But I've got to peel it off of this, and that's kind of a sticky process. Basically, you just kind of roll it up and turn it into a ball. But we're good to go with that box. Got to put the top on next and cut the top off. There was one corner on the bottom here that didn't pull up tight. In other words, this is good and tight all the way down and around, all the way around up to about right here. And then it looked just a slight little gap that, I mean, it wasn't bad, but I squeezed as much glue as I could in that gap and then pulled it down, and it's gotten tight, and it pulled up tight, and so it should be fine when it's going. So that's taken care of. Hey folks, I want to try to keep these videos a little shorter than I have been, so we'll just stop this recording now. Be sure to subscribe, like, and click that bell button to be notified of the new videos. Thanks ever.